Hey, so it's time for another quarterly project of OpenStreetMap UK, and for the second quarter of 2025 it's going to be healthcare. So now you can't see my screen very well like this. I'll take some screenshots to replace with that little bit there, and maybe do some recording as well. Healthcare, anyway. This hasn't been a quarterly project before, but there's been some similar things in 2020. There was a project for GP surgeries and health sites. 2016 it was healthcare, so maybe it was similar. But that means it's an open project like many of them are. They start off as, what can we do around that topic to help OpenStreetMap in the UK, or as UK mappers. And equally, if you're not in the UK or editing the UK, you can probably apply some of this and focus on healthcare in your country, even though it might be different. So there's the wiki that people have started putting some things like the common things we map and what tags. There's the community forum, which is where we can discuss ideas we might have. And so Gareth, one of the OSM UK directors, just posted this. We've done defibrillators recently. I'm still spotting them and mapping them. And that's mainly because of a quarterly project, I think, that inspired me and helped me understand the value of them being in OpenStreetMap. But what else could we do and what could we look at? Well, my usual for something like that, that's very, an establishment that there will be lists of or things or information online, is to look at Robert's tools on his OSM, various tools to compare to official data lists. Even if some data lists we can copy from, some we can just go, well, there's a checklist, we can see how well we're doing. And indeed, a few days after Gareth, Robert replied to talk about his healthcare project. So we click on that and we see, I'll share these links, but we can see that OSM healthcare mapping by progress. Now a lot of these I think are in the, so they're sort of 52%. They're done by postcode area because I think often his information has a postcode. It's the easiest way to match. So NN, which is that around Northamptonshire, that's doing really well. That's 77% mapped. But a lot of these are kind of 20, maybe 50%. And if we look, we can click there to see the DD postcode for Dundee and the surrounding area, 39.1%. So he's got a list of 179 facilities, and we've only got 7, it seems, in OpenStreetMap. We can also do a Control F to find DD. It's number 36. So there's a few numbers he's got here actually matched. Okay, so his tool only has matched 39.1%, but if I show you this, 91% are matched by OpenStreetMap names. So actually they are in there. I think it's only 35% can be linked with a postcode, or 26 by the website. So that means we're probably just missing the postcode, because when I'm out surveying I see a doctor's or a dentist, and other people will do the same, and you add it as a doctor's to OpenStreetMap but not the postcode. And we can click that DD link and we get a map of exactly where they are. Some of these are going to be far for me to check. There's a yellow one which he does explain below the map, the descriptions. So yellow isn't likely to be on the register. So that's a care home, but we could, so it might be fine that it's not there. I can also zoom in around Dundee. There are some green spots, which is good in the city. There's a lot of blue and reds next to each other, and I think that's the specificness of the location. And so yeah, I think we can probably do some matching without actually going out. So I'm going to do that. I'll set up my computer to record the screen, and then I can share that with you, which will be a bit better. This is the map I'm looking at. I've already opened JOSM, and I've got Bing aerial imagery, which will help a little bit. But we can go here and just start from the left, the west side of Dundee, going systematically. So we can see Invergary dental practice, and so the red one is here, but it's not linked with the data. And the blue one is on the Public Health Scotland, but seems to be missing. So we can click either of these. I think these match because so we can click the J+, which launches remote control, and I can say yes, always, and it loads that data. So we've loaded that one in, we've got this information, and we can just add it in. We could also just search, so Invergary amenity dentist, and the name is quite simple. So we can do a search, 82 Main Street, and that's the postcode. So we can't copy from Google, but we are allowed to copy from the Public Health Scotland register. So I can copy there and add in simply, this pops up on my other screen, but house number, it was 82, had address, postcode, and that in, and that's that one done. This one all by itself is Invergary medical practice. So I don't know why that's been there. I can click and look at it on OpenStreetMap. So it was added 8 years ago. It might be that it's not there anymore. I think we would need to go and see to be sure of that. I suppose I could do an internet search. It's set to close permanently. That was 2 years ago, although Google still thinks it's open, so I think I'd rather go there and check it. One thing I could do is, if I just I can use JOSM remote control. I can there on my other screen. I can add a note through JOSM or through a SEM website and go, is the medical practice still open? Create that note and upload it, and so someone can then go and check. Maybe you can see my my video from last quarter where we actually focused on note, but that's at least one. If I'm around Invergary and there's a very nice cafe there, I'll pay attention to notes and I might wander down there, so it's likely I'll get that. And there's this one. This is So blue means it's on the register and it believes it's Bluebelt Intermediate Care Unit. I'm guessing that this is actually the Riverside View Care Home. So the unit was closed, so we won't add that one, but Riverside View Care Home, let's see what that is. Side View Care Home. So they exist. There's this website that talks about them. So DD2 5JP. Well, no, it's different, but what we can do, and because it's not found this as a care home, we can just click JOSM to edit the area, and we could add some tags here. I'm not sure if it's that website. That's just a search engine. So we can go here and put the postcode in and put the house number in. Straight. Okay, so that's a few details there. I've also, on reading about the quarterly projects, if something's got amenity social facility, it should say now, well, Robert was talking about this, we should add another value. So community social facility, but it doesn't say it's a care home, so this would be, I believe, for older people. Yeah, so in JSON we just also clarify that with social facility nursing home, and so that's added added a lot more detail there, a lot more helpful for OpenStreetMap. Certainly the social facility could be all sorts of things, you know, just assisted living, which is more where they have their own home but people visit. There's other things, daycare, where there aren't rooms, even things like clothing banks. What's interesting is workshops. So I know one in Dundee actually that I'll be able to map it, because it helps people, you know, a workshop like woodworking or something, where people with disabilities or rehabilitating in various ways can go and join an organisation and help there, giving more skills rather than food bank and soup kitchens, kind of give food out. So so that's interesting, and that's why the quarterly projects teach you about new things, and they're great. You find more things you can map and more ways people use them. Okay, now back to this map. Well, I suppose before I do too many, let's just have some fun. We can then upload, no validation areas, and clarifying details of health care facilities, part of UK quarterly projects. I don't think we're tracking this. Sometimes we track things through adding a hashtag to the comments, but nobody's doing that. We'll track how well the tool goes, but I've used Bing, I've used Notes, and I've used websites, mainly the official ones. That's obvious where I put the website in, I think. And then we'll upload those changes. Now, I think we should, so we've got 70 and 100. I don't know how often Robert's tool updates. Does he say? He doesn't say. I think he has a way somewhere where he says when it's updated. It's about once a day, I believe. Yeah, so whenever he updates this, there's a lot of processing and he updates all his tools. I think the data about once a day. So we should see that, but in the meantime I can also refresh this. Yeah, so it doesn't even change the colors, which is a bit tricky for tracking. That's why I'm trying to go from west to east. So I'm going to do a few more of these, probably a bit sped up, but you don't need to see all the detail. I'll stop and tell you if there's more to talk about. Right, so I've spent about half an hour, a bit more than half an hour on this, talking to you, but also doing some mapping. I added, you don't have to do this all, to do the whole postcode area is a lot of work. Just do a bit, and then others can do the rest, and just updating one or two really helps. In fact, I thought I would do maybe all near the city centre of Dundee. Nah, not in this sitting. I might come back to it. I did add a lot of notes, which I don't think is always great. Just throwing in notes, I've said this isn't helpful. But where I added notes are places that I go past a lot. So I expect to see those notes or to go after them over the next 3 months while we're focusing on this as our quarterly project. And so I'll check, because on the ground information is always going to be better. I'll check if those medical practices, the doctors and clinics I'll check if they're actually there, get the name, find exactly which building there are. There's some that I'm like, I've gone past those, but it's in a terrace of houses and I don't know which one it is. So I'll add those in. One of the notes was in an area that was quite well mapped. I think another mapper might live near there, and hopefully they'll just be able to clarify that, either by writing a comment on the note or by updating that themselves. So I might do another video of this and share some more screenshots. I might just wait till Robert updates his tool. When it refreshes, gets the information again, and I can then show you how it changed just for doing half an hour's work. I really do hope that just by adding the postcode it can match up some of these, because they were very obvious, some of them. And so it's all in it there. I found some that are private clinics to do skin treatments or laser hair removal. I'm seeing more of these as I focus on mapping all the shops in the city and other cities, and I'm not sure what the best tagging is. They're strange. It says something about our society, but I'm going to ask on that community forum. It's a good time to do it when everyone's thinking about healthcare, so I'll ask if anyone's got some tagging suggestions for that. Anyway, have a go, take a look at the tool for your own area or somewhere you're going, and see if you can add anything, or don't use the tool, but if you're going to the doctors, see if it's on OpenStreetMap. Is it there? Is all the information there? Can you add anything else? Maybe you'll just add the parking that's beside it or something around that. Great.